Welcome to Trading Lounge and the SP 500 for the 26th of March, and this is our primary count here on the weekly chart for the S&P, and if this is correct, well, then we will just push up into new highs here. But when we're talking about corrections in a wave 4, they can get rather complicated. So this correction could continue sideways as well, and we might just have a little look at that. But let's just dive in here to the daily chart here. We'd been looking at the move down through here in 5 waves. There's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave C of 4. So one of the things that we were going to do in terms of actual trading is that if we find support, or if we get an impulse wave here, which looks the case, an impulse wave and then a pullback, then we'll look to buy into the S&P 500, and also that support on the 2,500 levels we talked about yesterday will also be a catalyst for a trigger for a long trade as well. We have to be a little bit mindful. Well, let's just go to the 4-hour chart. We'll put this in here while we're here. This is the 50-60% retracement level that we could just end up going to and failing at that point. Let's just go to the 4-hour chart and get a bit of grip on this. So this move down through here in 5 waves is 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave and the 4th wave, and then we've been looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I'm okay with this, even if it's a bit messy, as 5 here. But this 5 waves, this 5 waves down here, it all really depends on this little wave 2 here. So on the Dow Jones, as I mentioned, this wave 2 was actually higher than this wave 2 here. So if that was the case, just bearing this in mind, then all of this move down through here would be counted as the 3rd wave here, this grayed out 3rd wave, and that would be the 4th wave here. So if I look at that here on this chart here, we would be looking at it like this here in terms of 1 and 2 here, and or even 2 to go to here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and down for 5 here for this wave 4 slightly moves into wave 1 there. There's a bit of an issue, may not be so on the cash market. So then we would look at this here as an A and a B and a C wave here, and then down for wave 5 here. So it's also too, you know, that we don't really so I mean, all this is possible, but also too is that you know, the reality is that if I just copy these here for a second, you know, we need to look at everything. So that's our job. So that 1, 2 here and this 3 down here could be just wave C down here. I mean, it's a possibility. We'll look at all this in terms of trading in a moment, but just going back to this here, if this is an A and a B and a C down here, then we've got 3 waves down, and it does appear that we've got an impulse wave in this section here. We don't have the 2,500 as support yet, so we don't know if the market's going to go higher. If it's going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from. This is roughly the 38.2% retracement level where it is here for a wave 4, by the way. So, you know, in terms of this market moving up to its, you know, 61.8% mark up here somewhere, well, it's just obvious the first step we need is to get support on this 2,500 here. But if this is just left in 3 waves here, just shooting the breeze here, then we can look at it in different ways. So from the top here, this would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for a C wave. So we could pretty much also look at this here. If I just bring this in here a little bit further here, let me just. So from this wave 3 over here, we could look at this as the A wave here, an A and a B wave here, and a C wave here for the B wave, which we are anyway. But also when it comes to here, if this is just going to be in 3 waves here, if that's, you know, if that's just the case, then we would look at it as an A and a B and a C wave up here for a D wave, and then an E wave coming back down here as wave 4. So pretty much a large triangle pattern, because I do think in one way or another, there's two things that sort of bug me about, there's two things that bother me about this situation here of having the A, the B, and the C here. First of all is, yes, we know that the Feds are pumping money into the system as such, and, you know, we can expect a rally. But, you know, the whole COVID-19 is not resolved in any way yet, is it? So, you know, this can still, you know, this can find some sort of value to where it is at the moment, or whatever it is, you know, in terms of price. But you know, it's not over. So it's kind of difficult to see that the market would push up so early in this stage, you know, in its own free will. I mean, yes, you can pump it up to the 61.8%. But is that just the D wave here, and then we've got the E wave here for this here? Because I know this might sound a little bit weird, but, you know, when I'm looking at markets, I try to look at other markets around the world to see if I can get any leads on things, you know. So, but one of them is Australia, and it's our banking sector in Australia. So this is the GFC coming down through here, and in this case here, it really looks like we've got, you know, three waves down here, and then an A and a B and a C wave up here for this, and then we've got all of this occurring here, which would be, you know, this can be an expanded flat as well. It takes the top out here and expect it to take the low out down here. And this here would be in 5 waves here. So an A, B, C for the B wave. So an A wave here, a B wave up here, and then a C wave down here in 5 waves. So this would be wave 1 coming down here because there's 5 waves in here. And if I looked at that on one of our banks as a drawn out thing, it would look like this here, the same thing. So wave A here, A, B, C for wave B here. This is just A and Z. You can't see that there, but it's A and Z, one of our banks. And wave 1 here and A wave here, overlapping wave structures here. So wave B here, wave C for 2. So we've still got 3 and 4 and 5 to play out here. So that would be like the S&P 500 going from wave C here to D here and to E here. And also too, you know, this has taken quite some time from this top here to complete wave 1 and 2 here. So we still to get wave 3 and 4 here. So this could drift on for, you know, quite some time here, a couple of years here, easy in this point here, before we see a move up at that point. So it's not resolved here for the Australian banking sector. And, you know, we pretty much follow the S&P 500 to a point. You know, we still have pretty much the same sort of wave count, but it's slightly different. But it's also a time factor with all of this as well. So I'm thinking that we need, you know, it needs to resolve, this whole pattern from wave 3 here needs to resolve over here more for this. So anyway, as I always say, we just trade what we know and we take it step by step, because the rest of it is just a bit of a guessing game to a point. Sometimes we know and sometimes we don't, but when we get into wave 4 corrections, then they can get very complicated. So we could still have this triangle pattern, you know, coming through here in this regard, you know, an expanding triangle coming into this play here. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of that. But let's just drill into this bottom area through here and look for trades now. So just on the 1 hour chart, and we'll drill in from that particular point. We don't need all of that, so we'll just go to there. And so what we're talking about yesterday, we're talking about, you know, 5 waves finishing down to this point here. Well, in fact, I've got the feeling that we're actually got this here as the low in this one here, because from wave 4 here down to wave 5 here, we need 5 waves here. And it's hard to get, I can see we've got 1 and 2 in here, but 3 here. And I know this wave 4 is a bit high here on this spike, but, you know, this is I'm sort of thinking it's okay because we've got 5 waves coming down in this place. But we'll look at that a bit closely when we go to the 15-minute chart and the tick chart or whatever. But what we were talking about yesterday is having a move up through here and coming up to this level and then having a retracement back and then moving up and then moving in on it on this side over here. So on the on this particular level here, we were looking for the classic trading levels pattern, which is this one here. So if you can imagine, this is the 2,500 price point across here. We're looking for the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we're looking for the corrective move here. And then once we get that, once we've got that, we can go along on this top and this top. We may get a better entry over here. So we're in here at the moment with this. So if we go in and have a little look at this here, we see we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. So we should be seeing some sort of correction pullback here. I've got this green box in here. If that is the top, let's just assume for a moment that's the top, then this is the 61.8% mark here. So you can buy in that space. So pick a small position up at that point, draw a line through the A, the B, and the C here. So the top and the B wave here, draw a line through there. You can also go long on this top here for that. That can go over here, but we just want to, I want to see that come down further first before I call that top in. There may be one more push up, but we're still looking for that bigger pullback here. And then we can also look to build in over here too once we come back up on the level here. So yeah, just here we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level on the 15-minute chart here. You may already have long positions in there, and that's fine, but I want to go back to this wave 4 here and just talk about that for a second, because we can see that we've got, well, I can see we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and then we'll have wave 1 and 2 here and coming into the third wave here. So I can't really see the fourth and the fifth wave here. So what I mean by that is if I just copy that here, I can see wave 1 here, 2 here, whoopsie daisy, 3 here. So I can't really see the fourth and the fifth, and none of these little ones here have come down in 5 waves. They're all bullish corrective here. So I'm thinking, as I mentioned yesterday, we've got to put wave 4 there and then wave 5 down on here where I've got it here anyway, of wave 5 of 5 here, and then look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. The third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third wave, fourth wave here, and the fourth wave could also sit on this one over here. I haven't really pulled that apart yet because now that this is pulled down here and overlapped this, because I was kind of thinking also that 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. And fourth, and maybe one more move up here. But we'll just see. Look, if there is one more move up here, then we'll just move the wave 5 to that point there. But otherwise, we'll see this move down into the A wave here. Won't go that far down. I'll just go down to... We'll see something come down here, A, B, and C wave here, and then up from here. So I just need to tighten that up a little bit in here. Be here, and we can just, I'll turn this into green here because we can look to buy in that space, and also, you know, buying back up on the level here, because the question you need to ask yourself is that, has this market got this number as support yet? Is that support? No, but it's part of the process, and it's in its early stages of vibrating and then settling in on that level there. But Elliott would suggest that we have some sort of pullback in here. Yeah, that's sort of it really. So just wait for a correction into this. There may be one more new high, so you might have to adjust this a little bit higher. And yeah, we need to be on this side. This is stage 1 here. This is stage 2, and then we're in stage 3 over here. And this is where we want to be over here for this. That's about it. I don't think the tick chart can help us much more with all of this. Yeah, that looks impulsive. so does that. Bit of a yeah, I can't get my head around that one. I have to spend some time on it. But we do have overlapping structures now, so it's probably that wave 4 is there where I suggested, and we'll look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up to this point, and then there'll be an ABC coming down here for the A wave, and then the B wave and the C wave, so we can look to go long on those tops there. This is just counting up here. I mean, as I mentioned yesterday with this too, you know, it's quite a nice 5-wave structure down here for that. You know, it's just that this wave 4 went a little bit high, but, you know, there's some weird stuff going on in the markets at the moment, you know, money flowing in and being injected in. So I'll take that overlapping wave structure here as wave 4 as okay. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, the main game here to go along is to have that number here. So no change from yesterday. Yesterday we were in here somewhere just waiting for this to, there's a beginning, a middle and the end of a trend, and that's what we were waiting for. Now we've got to wait for the pullback into here, and then we can move in on that. So I'll just leave you with that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
Report unless it's done.
Really?
Just holding up some floats.